I've been publishing books on Amazon for going on 6 years now. It's pretty incredible to look back at some of the stuff that I've done as a fitness author. But the biggest issue that I saw more recently as I'm getting to rev up and launch a new publication was there was very little brand congruency, very little imagery that would tie a lot of the books together. And that's because you could kind of see an evolution of me as an author as you go along in my Amazon author profile. But I figured before I would go ahead and launch my latest book called Amazon Keywords for Books, I wanted to go back and just fix a lot of the old content. Some of these books that have pretty much just been dead on arrival. And actually it wasn't dead on arrival. Actually, it died over time because I just stopped promoting them. I stopped giving them love. I stopped going in and fixing the covers and fixing the book description and fixing the keywords. And that can be a real problem because you need to go through and fix those every now and then. Hey, what's up? It is Dale here. We're going to be talking about me publishing books on Amazon, and I'm going to try to revive about 13 books plus an additional amount more. Between about 2014 to 2016, I published over 40 titles underneath the Dale L. Roberts brand name, and it's primarily through fitness, health and fitness, if you will. This doesn't include 34 title translations in 6 different languages, and I'll save those for another video because those need a little bit of love and attention, kind of like what I'm doing here, and 34 titles is much more than, say, dealing with 13 titles. But at any rate, my last published book underneath Dale L. Roberts was in about October 2016. And so that means there's a lot of separation. And when I went into, say, 2017, I kind of kept the fires burning, but something came along in about 2018 that distracted me. It's called Self-Publishing with Dale. And I started really focusing a lot of my time, energy, and attention on building and growing this video and providing indie authors like you more information. Well, the problem is my fitness brand started just to slowly just die. It is just dying down. And why did I allow that to happen? It came down to just spinning so many plates. And honestly, in my heart, I just kind of fell out of love with the whole fitness thing. And thankfully, I have enough publications out as functioning as a small publishing house that I bring in enough income and revenue as a self-publisher that I didn't need to worry about it too much. So the fitness brand was bringing in a substantial amount of income at one point or another, but now it's kind of slowed down to a crawl, and I'm trying to turn that around. So now that I'm getting ready to launch a major publication, I know that you as a viewer are going to probably go over and purchase my book, and you're going to probably see all the other books, and then instantly you're going to probably think, oh my gosh,
this guy talks about good covers and good book descriptions.
What the heck is going on here?
So I thought, you know what? Let's do a little spring cleaning, even though we're getting into summer right now, and let's fix a lot of these things. So what did I need to do to revive this dead brand? Well, there's a few things I needed to do. I needed to, first of all, call the herd. I needed to get rid of the stuff that just was not, first of all, aligned with my current brand, and as well that just didn't make sense. I needed to kind of pull those things off. So I originally delisted about 5 titles well before all this stuff. It had a lot to do with some of my beliefs in health and fitness, and I just needed to kind of get rid of them. And then I more recently delisted 12 titles altogether. And the reason is some of them were redundant in my opinion, and some of them were just non-performing. It just didn't make sense for me to leave it up there, and I just couldn't see putting the effort into it if it wasn't going to draw a dime anyway. Now I left 4 titles as is, and I'll probably just go in and I'm going to fix the book description as well as the keywords. Other than that, though, I like the book covers. I feel like they're, working across as far as getting some good brand congruency to where people can see my covers and know it's a Dale L. Roberts fitness cover. So all in all, after I delisted all those books, I have about a 22 title overhaul. That is a lot of titles, but thankfully only 13 of those needed new covers. And this means that it needed to be done through ebook, print book and audiobook. I wanted to make sure when you went over into the Amazon listing that you could see that the covers were all matching. This was what I would recommend to you as well, is that you want to make sure all three of those look good. And do yourself a favor, don't take your ebook cover and stretch it out for your ACX cover. It looks absolutely hit. It looks terrible. Get a designer to actually make something that is specific for ACX and Audible. Now, with each one of these 22 titles, I needed to make sure I corrected all the metadata. I wanted to update the ad copy, aka the book description, as well as getting in new keywords that were going to make sense and be relevant to these particular titles. Now, previously, on a few of the titles, I'd actually delisted them and then republished them as second editions. Now, the reason why I didn't do it this time was I just honestly didn't feel like fussing with it. And the other thing is, when you do delist a title and then republish it as a second edition, the problem is you have to move over the reviews, and then also you're having to deal with the fact that you lose relevancy through Amazon. So all of your sales that you had before, all the history that you've had with a particular title, if you delist that and then you publish it as something new, then you lose that relevancy. And so I thought, let's leave the relevancy there, because some of these titles did pretty well back in the day. I would rather just try to push this boulder uphill until it gets over the hill and we start to get it back and get some good traction behind it. So I ordered 13 covers through Fiverr. Now, double that 13. It was 26 altogether because I did the ebook version and the ACX version. And I ordered it through dalelinks.com/Rebecca. That's with 1C. Rebecca Covers does fantastic work. She has really been very good to me over the past couple of years. And so I thought, you know what? I got a hold of her directly and I said, hey, can you do 13 covers times 2? And she was definitely willing to do it. It took her roughly about a week and a half to get all of it done, but I was very happy with it because we were able to kind of spitball some great ideas when it comes to how it would look good across each one of the covers. The one thing I wish I would have done differently is I should have hired her additionally for doing the print covers. I thought to myself, okay, I've got the print covers I had originally created myself. I can just go ahead and get the ebook cover, throw it on the front cover, and be done with it. The biggest issue was I'm a perfectionist, so of course I went through and I painstakingly recreated a lot of those covers and got it to where it looked really good. And I probably spent anywhere from about an hour to 2 hours trying to craft these things when I should have just hired Rebecca and been done with it. The next thing I did was, since I had to continue to provide content here on this channel, work with people inside my Facebook communities, and just take care of everyday life as well as some of the other self-publishing necessities, I decided to go ahead and update one title per day over the course of about 2 weeks. And it was painstaking. I'll tell you, I got up every day and I would focus on doing the keyword research, getting the covers uploaded, updating the interiors. And I also went into the interiors, by the way, and ran Grammarly through really fast to kind of just see if there was anything I missed. And I was amazed to find that I missed quite a bit of stuff in some of the publications. One particular publication actually was a book for seniors, and I got beat up in the reviews. And I let it set for a long time, and I actually took some pictures ahead of doing all this, and I just let it set, and then eventually I said, okay, that's when I said, let's go ahead and recreate and do a second edition of the seniors book to where it's large print edition, large pictures, large font, about size 16 to 18, and get it to where it responds to some of the reviews, because a lot of the reviews were saying the pictures are too small, the text too small, and the audience was clearly senior citizens who probably have an eyesight issue. So I was like, okay, this makes sense. And a lot of people would think, let's go ahead and just delist that because it has a bunch of bad reviews. No, I went ahead, I said, let's take it on the chin. Let's go ahead and leave those reviews up, update it, and get it to where it says so inside the ad copy. And the very next thing that I'm currently doing, and also started doing as I was updating each one of these on a daily basis, was I would run an Amazon advertising campaign, just starting it out slow and scaling it up slowly but surely. And I've actually seen a positive return so far, so I'm super happy that I'm actually functioning more into the black. Have I paid for the covers just yet? Possibly not, but I'm sure over the next 3 to 6 months, I'm definitely going to see that with the Amazon advertising campaigns. Okay, so there are some mistakes. I just want to highlight 3 big mistakes that I made throughout this whole thing. And when it comes down to this is I waited far too long to do something. If you see that there's some great titles in your backlog and they're not performing as what they used to be, don't wait to fix the issue. Get on top of it. Otherwise, you're going to have to do what I did, which was spending about 2 weeks straight, no days off, in getting these publications up to date and getting the relevancy built back on them. The second mistake I made was not hiring out every aspect of the cover design. And heck, I could have probably just hired out when it comes to the blurbs as well. If I had to do it all over again, I would at least have sent everything to Rebecca Covers and had her handle all the print, get it all the ebook and all the audiobooks. So that way I wasn't spending so much stinking time and fixing a lot of this stuff. And the third biggest mistake was mistakenly delisting one title. I mean, whoops. I actually had one title in there, and for some reason I was just like, this is no good. And I went ahead and delisted it. And then I looked at it and I go, oh, that was a perfectly good one. I've kept it delisted for now. I figure I'll probably go in and fix a lot of the metadata in the coming weeks for right now. My final thoughts when it comes to reviving a dead brand is, there's a reason why your book's sold in the first place. And it has a lot to do with being in the right place in the right time and a little bit of luck, but also it comes down to there was an audience that was looking for your type of content and they liked what you had. So I would recommend that if you're going to publish books and get it on out there, at least put something up in your system and in your daily workflow to keeping the plate spinning. Even if it was just a small, moderate amount every day that you can kind of put to your backlog, it will add up in due time. Hey, so listen, I actually just did a video not too long ago on the 5 reasons your book's not selling. And in fact, actually, I talk about it right on over here, and you'll find out why I made some of the decisions that I did in this video based on some of the stuff that I talk about over here on the 5 reasons your book's not selling. See you there.